Major gun law changes are already locked in for 2026, and they are arriving faster than most people realize. Across multiple states, new firearm restrictions are either taking effect or moving into their final enforcement phases. Once these laws go live, firearms that were legal for years could suddenly place their owners on the wrong side of the law, without warnings, grace periods, or major headlines. This is not rumor or speculation. These laws are passed, the dates are set, and missing even one update could carry serious consequences. In this video, we're breaking down what has already changed, which states are tightening restrictions, how enforcement is shifting, and why ongoing legal challenges don't always protect people in the short term. This overview is for informational purposes only. Gun laws vary widely by state, and anyone affected should always verify information through official state sources or qualified legal counsel. One of the most significant changes is coming out of Rhode Island. Beginning July 1st, 2026, a new law goes into effect that dramatically expands the state's firearm restrictions. The statute bans the manufacturing, sale, purchase, and transfer of firearms the state now classifies as assault weapons, using a broad feature-based definition. Under the law, a semi-automatic rifle with a detachable magazine becomes restricted if it includes even one listed feature. That includes certain stock configurations, specific grip designs, barrel threading, and other common characteristics found on many rifles that were previously lawful. Semi-automatic shotguns are also included under certain configurations, depending on capacity and design. The penalties written into the law are severe. Violations can result in felony charges, significant fines, and potential prison sentences. While a grandfather provision exists for some owners, it comes with strict limitations on where and how affected firearms may be possessed or transported. Transfers within the state are restricted, and inheritance options are limited. One of the biggest issues legal observers are raising involves relocation. Firearms that may be lawful in other states can become illegal immediately if someone moves into Rhode Island after the law takes effect. That creates risk for people relocating for work, family, or military assignments. Colorado is taking a different approach, but the impact may still be substantial. Beginning August 1st, 2026, the state will require an eligibility card for the purchase of certain semi-automatic firearms with detachable magazines. Obtaining that card involves multiple steps, including training requirements, background screening, and renewal obligations. Even after receiving the card, purchasers must still complete existing background checks and waiting periods. Firearms owned prior to the effective date are not subject to new registration requirements, but future purchases will involve added time, cost, and administrative steps. Colorado is also tightening oversight of private transfers involving these firearms, requiring transactions to move through licensed dealers. While this is not a ban in the traditional sense, it significantly alters the purchase process and adds layers of compliance that did not previously exist. Several states with long-standing firearm restrictions are also strengthening enforcement or expanding definitions in 2026. California is granting broader authority to restrict additional firearm models, including certain semi-automatic pistols, limiting in-state sales and transfer options. New York is increasing enforcement funding tied to its existing SAFE Act framework, placing new emphasis on registration deadlines and compliance checks. New Jersey continues expanding its list of prohibited firearms under its substantially identical standard, which can apply even to models previously considered compliant. Massachusetts is reinforcing discretionary authority to restrict firearms based on similarity rather than technical specifications alone. Connecticut is preparing its first comprehensive audit of registered firearms, cross-checking historical records against current registrations. Maryland is adding dozens of firearms to its banned list, with limited timeframes for compliance once those lists are published. Washington State is expanding mandatory training requirements and secure storage enforcement alongside broader use of risk-based firearm seizure laws. None of these are federal laws, but within their states, they carry the same legal weight. Many of these measures are being challenged in court, and the Supreme Court's Bruin decision has changed how gun laws are evaluated. Governments are now required to demonstrate historical justification for modern firearm regulations, and courts across the country are actively weighing how that standard applies to current bans. Some restrictions have been temporarily blocked, while others remain fully enforceable as litigation continues. This creates a difficult reality. Even if a law is later overturned, enforcement can still occur in the meantime. Court decisions take years, not months, and compliance is still required while cases move through the system. That gap between legal challenge and final resolution is where many people find themselves exposed. The greatest risk right now is not dramatic enforcement actions or sudden federal changes. It is quiet implementation. Deadlines arrive, lists update, definitions shift, and enforcement often follows routine checks rather than headline events. For many people, assuming that nothing has changed is exactly how problems begin. This is not about panic, it is about awareness. Gun laws in 2026 are not theoretical. They are written, scheduled, and actively unfolding at the state level. Legal challenges are ongoing, but until final rulings are issued, these laws remain enforceable. Here on 2A Freedom, we track firearm legislation, court cases, and enforcement changes clearly and consistently without hype, speculation, or guesswork. Because when the law changes, clarity matters. Stay informed, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next update.